My dad used to tell my mom I was gonna be a world champ.
I told him he wouldn't be
How'd that make you feel?
It filled me with rage. And every time I stepped foot in the ring or anything that I ever did, I just wanted to win so bad so I can prove a point to it.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have the number 9. Referee in charge, Harvey Doc stops the contest. He is the winner by way of technical knockout. He is still undefeated. And now, the undisputed welterweight champion of the world, Terence Crawford is a fighter that's going to be talked about forever.
In the unforgiving streets of Omaha, Nebraska, a fighter was forged. Terence "Bud" Crawford isn't just another champion. He's a product of survival, of grit, and of a relentless will to rise above every obstacle life threw at him. Before the world knew his name, before the belts, before the glory, there was just a kid who had to fight his way through everything, inside and outside the ring. Today, we unravel the story of a man who carved his path from humble beginnings to boxing immortality. Crawford's story begins in Omaha, Nebraska, a city not exactly known as a boxing hotspot. But for young Terence, fighting wasn't a sport. It was survival. Born in 1987, Bud grew up in a tough neighborhood where trouble was never far away. Street fights, run-ins, brushes with danger. They weren't exceptions. They were part of his daily reality. From an early age, he showed a natural mean streak, a competitive fire that set him apart. But it wasn't always controlled. Teachers saw it, neighbors saw it, and eventually, his mother did too. Instead of shielding him, she challenged him. There are stories of her betting money that her son could beat up kids bigger and older than him, and Bud rarely disappointed. Boxing wasn't just a hobby. It became the outlet that focused all that raw aggression, all that energy. He picked up gloves at the CW Boxing Club under trainer Mitch Miner, and even then, it was clear. Crawford had the hunger. He wanted to hurt, to dominate, to prove something every single time he stepped in the ring, but that same fire nearly burned him out before it ever paid off. He wasn't a kid destined for an easy path. Bud had close calls. He dabbled in the streets, got into fights outside the gym, and once even took a bullet to the head while sitting in his car. The shot could have ended everything, but instead, it became a wake-up call. If boxing was his way out, it was time to take it seriously.
His opponent across the ring in the red corner, wearing red, trimmed in black, su contrario en la esquina roja.
By 2008, Terence Crawford made his professional debut. But unlike some prospects with Olympic medals or promotional hype machines behind them, Bud's rise wasn't decorated with flashbulbs and headlines. He wasn't the golden child of American boxing. He was the guy fighting in small venues, often buried on undercards, slowly grinding his way up. For years, he fought in relative obscurity. 20 wins with no losses, yet barely a whisper outside hardcore boxing circles. He wasn't spoon-fed an easy path. He had to claw for recognition. That recognition finally came in March of 2013. Crawford was a late replacement opponent against the dangerous Breedis Prescott, the same man who had shocked the boxing world by knocking out Amir Khan.
Terence Crawford, who was scheduled to be in another fight on the undercard, moves up for the biggest test in his developing career. Some people think Prescott is too experienced. Some people think Crawford is just too good. We'll get the answer in a moment.
Most people expected Crawford to play it safe, maybe even lose. Instead, Bud showcased his versatility. He switched stances effortlessly, controlled the fight with intelligence beyond his years, and shut Prescott down completely. From that night, boxing insiders started paying attention. This wasn't just a slick fighter. This was someone who could think, adapt, and dismantle opponents with surgical precision. It wasn't just a win, it was a statement. In the span of a year, Crawford went from unknown prospect to world champion. In 2014, he traveled overseas to Scotland to challenge Ricky Burns for the WBO lightweight title.
These are the questions that have to be asked about Terence Crawford. How will he deal with a howling crowd that are booing everything he does and cheering everything his opponent does?
You've all been waiting for, so here we go. Terence Crawford.
He understood that if we got to go over there and get that title, that's what we got to do.
Fighting in Burns' backyard, in front of a hostile crowd, Crawford delivered a masterclass. He silenced the arena, outboxed the champion, and brought the belt back to Omaha.
I didn't really have no fear of him fighting Ricky Burns, you know. He just seemed real confident, so there was no problem.
What was that key moment where you made the adjustment? You're like, I'm about to be a world champ. When did that click in your head?
Well, it just clicked because Bo was just like, pick it up, and I was like, all right, like, I'm not leaving. Like, so I just try to make it a fight.
That night didn't just give him a title, it gave him a city. Omaha rallied behind Bud, packing arenas whenever he fought at home. For the first time in decades, Nebraska had a boxing superstar to call its own.
I still get excited talking about that moment because that's the highlight to my career. That's the highlight to my dreams coming true, is that one particular fight.
It was thoroughly deserved.
because that's what I've been working my whole life for. And that day, I captured it.
After conquering the lightweight division, Terence Crawford set his sights higher, both literally and figuratively. He moved up to 140 pounds, the super lightweight division, and what followed was nothing short of dominance. In 2014, Bud took on Julius Gamboa, a former Olympic gold medalist and undefeated champion. It was the fight that truly put Crawford on the map. It was the kind of performance that makes the boxing world sit up and say, "This guy is special."
Okay, gentlemen, you got your instructions. Welterweight will commence at all times. Protect yourself time. Good luck to you.
Gamboa's blazing hand speed gave Bud trouble early on, but Crawford adjusted mid-fight, switched stances, and unleashed a brutal counterpunching clinic. Round by round, the momentum shifted. The hunted became the hunter. Switching stances, controlling range, Crawford's IQ was on full display. Every exchange was a chess move, and Bud was already 3 steps ahead.
I rocked by Gamboa, and in that same round, it was over with. The same round. The same round. Come here. Now I'm mad.
The knockdowns weren't just about power. They were timing, precision, patience. By the later rounds, Omaha knew they were witnessing history. When Crawford finally let his hands go, it wasn't reckless. It was surgical. From that night on, he wasn't just Omaha's champion. He was boxing's problem. By the 9th round, Crawford dropped Gamboa 3 times before finishing him in the 10th.
By knockout victory, the fighting pride of Omaha, Nebraska, USA, still WBO lightweight champion of the world, Terence Bud.
From there, Crawford went on a tear. He dismantled Thomas Delorme, outclassed Victor Postel in a unification bout, and stopped John Molina Jr. with ruthless precision. Each fight wasn't just a win. It was a display of mastery, as if Bud was playing chess while everyone else was still learning checkers. By 2017, Bud Crawford wasn't just winning, he was collecting belts. Julius Indongo came in undefeated, with size, reach, and 2 world titles around his waist. On paper, it looked dangerous. In reality, it was Crawford at his most ruthless. Crawford wasn't just boxing him, he was breaking him down piece by piece. The body shots, the angles, the patience, everything was calculated. From the opening bell, his timing erased every advantage Indongo thought he had. And then came the left hand to the body, the perfect finisher. One punch, and Crawford had done what most fighters only dream about. Undisputed champion. 4 belts. One name. In that moment, Terence Crawford joined history's most exclusive club. He had achieved something rare in modern boxing. He became the undisputed champion at 140 pounds, holding all 4 major belts. In an era where politics and promotional walls often prevent unification, Crawford cut through the noise and unified an entire division. It was a historic moment, a declaration that he wasn't just elite, he was one of the very best on the planet. But Crawford wasn't done climbing. He moved up again, this time to the stacked welterweight division, the land of giants, where legends like Floyd Mayweather, Manny Pacquiao, and Oscar de la Hoya had carved their legacies. Critics wondered if Bud's skills would hold up against naturally bigger men. The answer came quickly. In 2018, he fought Jeff Horn, the rugged Australian who had controversially beaten Pacquiao. Crawford made Horn look ordinary, stronger, sharper, and meaner. Bud bullied the bigger man and stopped him in the 9th round. Horn came in, rough, rugged, and determined to bully Crawford the same way he had bullied Pacquiao. But from the opening bell, it was clear Bud was on another level.
Trying to come with a left uppercut as Horn came forward. End of 2. Last round from Bud Crawford. That was the signature punch of that.
Every time Horn lunged in, Crawford met him with precision. The jab, the counters, the movement. It was a masterclass in control.
Right hook. Charging in with a right hand, and now they exchange in the middle of the...
Crawford says is, do not mistake me with Manny Pacquiao. I am bigger, I am stronger, I am in my prime.
With another look at it right here. Terence following him out. Fundamentally, he wants to stay right in front of him.
Round by round, Horn's aggression turned into desperation.
He's trying. I mean, he's giving his best foot forward.
Rushton says, you just got to...
They need that miracle. They need to find that magic that hook is deadly. There it is as it backs up Jeff Horn.
By the 9th, Crawford turned up the pressure, landing clean combinations.
Punching between punches and a flush left hand, and here comes Bud on the attack. Half minutes ago in round 8, can he finish him? Straightening. When Pacquiao nearly got rid of him as well, but Horn fought back, dominated the finish of that fight. He has been outclassed.
Till the referee had no choice but to stop it. In his very first fight at 147, Crawford didn't just win, he made a statement. The welterweight division had a new problem. Becoming the WBO welterweight champion. From there, the narrative shifted. It was no longer about whether Crawford could compete at welterweight. It was about when and if he would get the mega fights the fans demanded. Names like Keith Thurman, Danny Garcia, Sean Porter, and most of all, Errol Spence Jr. were thrown around. Yet time and politics kept the dream matchups on ice. Instead, Bud kept doing what Bud does, dominating everyone they put in front of him. He knocked out Jose Benavidez Jr. in dramatic fashion. He dismantled Amir Khan, forcing a corner stoppage. He outclassed Kell Brook, breaking him down with frightening ease. And in 2021, he became the first man to ever stop the rugged Sean Porter, a fighter known for never backing down. Each fight was another reminder. Crawford wasn't just beating opponents, he was finishing them. His killer instinct, his ability to switch stances, his mix of IQ and viciousness, it made him look untouchable. Then came July 29th, 2023. The night boxing fans had waited for. Terence Crawford versus Errol Spence Jr., two undefeated champions, both in their prime, fighting for undisputed welterweight supremacy. The build-up was electric. Many believed it was a 50-50 fight, a true pick'em between the two best welterweights in the world.
And there they are, ladies
What happened
and
that
gentlemen, it's the
night
main event
shocked
of the
even
evening.
Crawford's biggest believers. From the opening bell, Bud was a step ahead. His jab was a laser, his timing impeccable, his defense airtight. He dropped Spence 3 times, battered him round after round, and forced the referee to stop the fight in the 9th. Crawford didn't just win, he dominated. He became the first male fighter in the 4-belt era to become undisputed champion in 2 different weight divisions. That performance wasn't just a career highlight, it was a legacy fight, the kind of night that defines an era.
He is the winner by way of technical knockout. He is still undefeated. And now, the undisputed welterweight champion of the world, Terence Crawford.
With Errol Spence conquered, Terence Crawford's legacy was no longer up for debate. The question wasn't whether he was great, it was how great. Think about the journey. From silencing Ricky Burns in Scotland, to dismantling Julius Gamboa, to unifying the super lightweight division against Victor Poston and Julius Indongo. From taking the WBO belt off Jeff Horn, to becoming the first man to stop Sean Porter. And finally, dominating Errol Spence Jr. in one of the most anticipated fights of the decade. Every step of the way, Crawford didn't just win, he finished. His ability to switch stances mid-fight, to read an opponent like an open book, to break them down both mentally and physically. It's artistry with a mean streak. Today, he stands as the first male fighter in the 4-belt era to become undisputed champion in 2 weight classes. Names like Sugar Ray Leonard, Floyd Mayweather, and Manny Pacquiao are often invoked when we talk about greatness. And while comparisons are always tricky, Crawford's resume now places him shoulder to shoulder with the elites of any era. But his story isn't done yet. In fact, the next chapter might be the boldest of them all. Crawford has made it clear. He wants Canelo Alvarez, a fight that would pit 2 undisputed champions, 2 generational talents against one another. Crawford, the slick technician who's dominated every division he's touched. Canelo, the Mexican superstar who's conquered 4 weight classes and carved out his own legacy of greatness. If it happens, it won't just be a fight. It will be the fight. Boxing history in the making. And for Terence Crawford, it would be the chance to add one final, legendary exclamation mark to a career that's already among the greatest we've ever seen.